My name's Peter Green, I'm a publican in Featherstone, West Yorkshire. The car I have is a Dodge Coronet Super B, which I bought a couple of years ago from Dave Billadeau, who built it. A big list of American cars. I've had American cars for the best part of 50 years. Bought the first one when I was 19, an old Chevrolet Impala drophead. Beautiful car. Worse for wear at the time, but I think it was 275 quid. If I was to put 2 zeros on it to buy it today, even in that condition. It came over here as an ordinary Coronet. I don't know the guy who fetched it over, but then it was a track car, Woodys Wedge. It was quite well known at Santa Pod and New York Raceway. When the guy decided to pack in, Dave took the engine out and decided to turn it into a Super B Tribute, which was probably the easiest thing to do with an ex-track car. Well, I got it almost by accident. I'd seen it advertised. In fact, I just went through to see Dave and he'd got it, and somebody else was going to buy it. So I ended up buying a big Ford Galaxy. And then a few months went by and I saw the same car for sale, which he'd finished it by then. So I just went through and bought it with retirement money that I decided to spend on cars instead of saving. It's been completely rebuilt. I would say that it was a bare chassis, bare body, totally repainted, and then a lot of non-original parts put on it with the big oversized tyres on the back. The engine and the gearbox would not be available on a car built then. It could have come out with a 318 in it, and I don't know, because it's gone through so many hands since it was built. It has to be somebody who really knows the stuff to say that's not a real Super B. But as I say, nobody ever has, because I don't think very many people would know. It is basically a Coronet with a lift-off hood, some different stickers on it, a couple of badges. So I don't know. And it doesn't matter anyway. It's £30,000 cheaper. So you don't mind riding around in a car when you think, well, if I had a £70,000–£80,000 one, would I use it? No, what's the point having it? To put a smile on my face, and believe me, when you drive a car like that, it does put a smile on your face. Not just me, the people I drive by, I get thumbs up, waves, people videoing it, taking photos, just ordinary people in the street. It doesn't have to be at a show or a meeting. Everybody they know it's American. A lot of them don't know what it actually is, because there's not a lot of them about. Well, it's featured in a couple of magazines. It's been in a video and photo shoot for a Swedish rock band, sort of grungy punk music, which that was quite something to see. Other than that, just ride around in it. That's what it was built for. Oh, well, I blew it up about a year ago, I think, yeah. In fact, I had in the car was the father of the guy who built it, and we were going after his other son, because we got a little bit lost in Doncaster. I floored the car and it blew up on the A1M. So I had to have a new engine fitted since then. Luckily, Dave had a spare block in his backyard. Everybody always has a 440 block in the backyard, everywhere. A valve spring probably went and dropped a valve, and then everything else connected and burned itself out. It actually cracked the block, which takes a lot to do. But we were moving, it was not hanging about. So that's another reason for never going racing. I leave that to people who are younger and with more money, because they'll need it. Well, the speedometer isn't very accurate. It is a thing that probably wants attention. But I would say when I blew it up, we were probably doing about 140 and she was still picking up speed. Well, I don't find it a problem. I used to be a lorry driver, used to drive left-hand drive trucks all over the continent, all over Europe, Saudi Arabia. So, when you're used to driving big things, it doesn't matter. And an old adage is, if you're in a left hooker, drive in the gutter. or you'll damage the right-hand side, without a doubt. I already had a garage that was built big enough and long enough to fit it in. That would be a problem for most people if they didn't have a big garage. And just one or two teething problems, but nothing other than slight adjustments which you get with any car really, especially something that isn't absolutely stock as it came out of the factory. No, because I've not really been one for putting it in a show because I can't stay long enough to wait for an award or somebody to come and judge it. And it's probably not actually a show-winning car. It's a very nice car, but because I use it a lot, and I'm not prepared to polish every square inch of it for somebody to come along and pick fault. They can do it with somebody else's car, not mine. Replacing the engine was that expensive that I'm not going to race it, and it would probably be quite competitive. But again, it's an all-day job. I took the Mustang, I used to have a Mustang, and I took that to New York Raceway and Santa Pod. But you need such a lot of time, and I spend my time here. I live in a public house. I like drinking beer, and if I go to Santa Pod or anything like that, I want to stay for a couple of hours and come away and go and do something else. So, no, I don't think I'd ever track it again. That's an excellent question. I've always liked all sorts of big cars. In the past, I had Mark II Jags, Mark III Zodiacs, and it is nice to have a big car that's different. There is only one like that. There isn't another one. There's similar ones, but it's not like a mass-produced, any kind of model car you want to mention. Comes out of the factory, you buy one, your next door neighbour can buy one exactly the same by just going and paying for one. These, you've got to find one for sale first. Just ride around in it, go to meetings, go see other people I know. I've used it for proms, taken, young people to the proms. No other particular plans. I will keep it until something else interesting crops up, or somebody offers me ridiculous amounts of money for it, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. It has to be something very special. I did see a Dodge pickup, 1940 something. It was for sale down in Portsmouth somewhere, and I would have maybe bought that. But other than that, there's not much, because I've had most American cars I wanted, I've already had. A Highland Green Mustang, as in bullet, maybe, but they're such silly money that maybe not. I'm all right with what I've got.